I welcome you all this evening. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today, I'm going to talk about the contributions of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad in nation building. In the pages of history, there is no dearth of great leaders, but the leaders who have created history are very small in number. Among these great leaders, I would like to refer to none but the name of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad because of his priceless contribution in nation building. He could have raised the slogan of two-nation theory. He could have cherished the idea of becoming undisputed leader of the Muslim community. But he devoted himself to build India as a nation. Do you know why? It is because he knew in his political career, the world is moving to a system based on national interest and inclusiveness. And the imperial structure of the government would no longer exist. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad envisioned India as a nation run by a constitution where every citizen would enjoy equal right. We are also in the know of the fact that after Hiroshima and Nagasaki atomic explosion, when Japan completely surrendered to America, its leader Hirohito did nothing but visited the entire educational institutions as to what Japan had to do. Today, Japan is exactly what its great leader had ever dreamed of. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, after becoming the first education minister of independent India, realized that India cannot progress unless education is made accessible to all Indian citizens, irrespective of caste, color, creed, and gender. So he encouraged enrollment of children and adults in this school to improve primary education and to make it universal. Besides, he devoted to adult education as well, education for the women. It was Maulana Abul Kalam Azad who was aware of the fact that India is a country of diverse languages. So he proposed trilingual formula, namely number one, Hindi as the national language, number two, mother tongue as the medium of education, number three, English as third language. As we know, the progress of any country lies in its scientific development and higher education. To achieve this goal, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad founded landmark institutions like in UGC, University Grant Commission, All Indian Institute of Technical Education, IIT Kharagpur was his creation, followed by later IITs in future. He also founded Council for Scientific and Industrial Research. He significantly contributed to the establishment of Central Institute of Education and emphasized on curriculum development and teacher training. He has also a special interest in Indian art and culture. It was he who patronized Sangeet Natak Academy, Lalit Kala Academy, and Sahitya Academy. Even in his name, Indian Council for Culture Relation is also founded. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad was not only pioneer in establishing landmark institutions in India, but also establishing Hindu-Muslim unity. Giving a lecture, once he said, "Today, if an angel were to come from heaven and declare from the top of Qutub Minar that India will get Swaraj within 24 hours, provided India relinquishes Hindu-Muslim unity, I would prefer to relinquish Swaraj than to give up Hindu-Muslim unity. If the Swaraj is delayed, it will be lost to India. But if our unity is lost, it will be lost for entire mankind." Irrespective of all these contributions made by Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, when you look at the Satya Report Committee, a kind of shockwave runs through our senses that Muslims are the most backward class in every walk of life in India. The prime reason of their backwardness is lack of education. It is very sad that we have not given much importance to education and our duty in society. We have entirely failed to discharge our social responsibility in uplifting our Muslim brother into mainstream. Even we feel pain when we come to know that according to such a report committee, only 2% of Muslims are in IITs, the institution which were founded by our great leader, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. So the challenge is very great and very enormous. So in conclusion, I would like to say that education is the only way to overcome the challenges we are facing today, either it is economic, political, or social. If you don't plan to do away with the present status quo of the Muslim community, no power in the world will come to change us. Allah says in the Holy Quran, verse number 53, Surah Al-Anfal, ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّ اللَّهَ لَمْ يَكُنْ مُغَيِّرًا نِعْمَةً أَنْعَمَهَا عَلَىٰ قَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُوا مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ سَمِيعٌ عَلِيمٌ. That is because Allah would not change a favor that He had bestowed upon a people until they themselves change what is in themselves. And indeed, Allah is knowing and hearing. Jazakallah khair. Thank you very much.